Hello again, everyone. I'm so excited that you're here and you've made the decision to invest in your business with an Impact Lab Designs template. We are so happy that you guys chose us for your website needs, so thank you so much. I just want to quickly give you all an overview on kind of the Showit platform and kind of just give you a tour around, which will hopefully really help you guys get started on editing and creating the best website that you can. So let's start over to the left of our screen. And this is the site panel, and this is going to have a lot of important and global settings for your site and template. First, let's notice that there is a site tab and a page tab. We're going to start talking about the site tab right now. These first three settings are basically your really important global settings for your site. So if you click into the first site settings, you're going to see that this is the place where you can add in your site name, which you're probably going to want to just make the name of your business. And then here you can add your custom domain. If you don't know how to get a domain, please see the Showit guide. We have linked some helpful articles for that. But if you already have a domain, you can just press edit and then you can easily connect the domain you already have to your Showit site. Next, we have a favicon. A favicon is just the image that shows up in the little tab of the browser when someone would be on your website. So for example, up here, you can see this would be Showit's favicon. And then here you can see down here the publish URL. That's really important. This is what your URL will look like when you publish it. This is the URL you're going to want to give out to your friends, to your customers, etc., to be able to get to your website. If we go back up to the top, we can see that we have two more tabs, blog and third party. On blog, this is where you can either migrate your WordPress blog or create a new blog if you want. And all you have to do if you want a new blog or to migrate is you just have to request here, and Showit's team is just going to do all the work there for you. So once you have sent in your request and filled out the required information, they will email you if they need anything else from you, and they'll also email you when it's all set up. Down here will just be your blog domain, which will be linked to your site domain, site design, so that people can easily get back and forth. And then third party, here we have Google Analytics. So you just enter in here your measurement ID number, and that just makes it so that those tracking platforms can work on your website. Next, we have design settings. So these are really important to update before you start editing your template, because I swear if you update these settings, that's just half the battle in your design. This will basically change your whole template to match your brand. And so up here you can see that we have the different colors that I used on this template. This is my honesty template. And I just want you to go through and add in your own brand colors, and then all of these things on the template that are for these colors are going to update color automatically. It's amazing. And so all you're going to do to update is just select a color, and you're just going to put in the hex code right here. Next, we have fonts. So if you want to change the font, I suggest first going to the font tab in the upper left hand corner of the design settings. And then here you can easily add any Google font you want. You just select the one you want. It's going to show you a preview of what that font looks like. And you can choose the style if there's more than one. And then you would just press add Google font and save to save those changes. To add a custom font, let's say you downloaded a font on Creative Market or another font sourcing store, all you have to do is take the WOOF file. If it didn't come with a WOOF file, then all you have to do is Showit right here provides a link to a website that will convert the font files you have into a .woof file. After you convert, or if you already have it, all you have to do is upload it into your media library, and then it will be here. Again, you just click on it. It will show you what it looks like. You give it your font name, add custom font, press save. You're all set. That font will now be available for you to use on your website. Back to site style, once you have the fonts that you want to use that match your brand for your website, I want you to come back to the site style page and press these three little dots by each section of text that we're going to have on our website. And here, once you have added a font to your website, you can easily just change it. You can change the size, you can change the color, all of that totally customizable. That's what makes Showit so great. And you're just going to go down and keep doing it for each kind of text. And once you have all of this updated, I want you to press save. I'm just going to exit out because I don't want to save those changes. Next we have media library. This is going to be where you upload and store all of your images, all of your video files, all of your font files, etc. You can see that mine is organized by folder. To upload, you can just drag and drop your image from your computer, from whatever folder it's in, right into this window, or you can press choose files to upload and it will show you all the documents on your computer and you would just upload from there. After that, we get down into the pages. So these are all the pages of your website. You can see that our templates come with 6 fully designed pages plus a 404 page, which is just an error page that if there's any trouble loading something, it will just direct your customer there automatically. So here you can toggle back and forth between all of your pages to start editing them. You can also hit this plus button and you can add a new page and start from scratch if you want to do that. Once you have a page selected, we'll get you to an option menu and it gives you just some options to edit. And that's true for all of these. And as we go down, you can see the blog templates. So this is how you're going to design your WordPress blog for your website. Right in here, you can get a picture. These don't come with, this design does not come with a template. These are just default settings that Showit has, which you can keep or choose to customize on your own. If you do want an Impact Labs designed blog template, we do have an add-on on our website, so check that out. And if you have already purchased a template, you automatically get 15% off, and that code should have been sent along in the confirmation email with the share key after purchase. As we move down, we get into our site canvases. These are all the canvases on each page that are global. So they're usually canvases that are on multiple, if not all the pages. And what that means is that if you update or change one, it will change all on each page. So you don't have to keep going back and doing that over and over. And we'll get into more about canvases, exactly what they are, how to edit them, etc. later. So now I just want to take you through the page tab of the site panel. This is relevant when you're on a page and you want to edit it. You want to go to the page tab because this is going to make it so much easier for you to edit. And you can see that the page we're on is home. And everything under here is the canvases, all the canvases that make up our home page. So each canvas is a section of the page that you can edit, you can copy and paste to other pages on your website. It just makes it easy to keep everything consistent and organized. When you click on any of the canvases, you can start to get into them and edit them. And you can see when I click on a canvas, just a page canvas, so this is a canvas that only really exists on this page. You can see that it shows us each element under the page, and that's really helpful when we edit, figure out what we have selected. Over here to the left, you can see that we can toggle between the desktop and mobile views. If I deselect this, it will not show on mobile. If I deselect this, it will suddenly not show up on desktop. Another thing to note over here is that this is what controls the stacking order within a canvas. Let's say I want to change the stacking order. I literally just have to drag it and drop it where I want. See how that changed the stacking order? This background box, I dragged it up instead of under, and it hid the words. If that ever happens to you and you're wondering why text is not showing up above an image or above a shape, just look at the stacking order and make sure that that is correct. And then as we move to the right, these little graphics over here are telling you exactly what kind of element it is. So you can see this is text, you can see that this is an element or an icon or a shape, and then you can see this is an image to the far right. Another thing to note about the far left image over here is this is what's going to tell you what is a site canvas versus what is a page canvas. So if you can tell something is a site canvas if it has this little globe on the icon to the left. And again, that just means it's a global canvas. So menu, for instance, this is something that shows up obviously on every single page of our website. So we want it to stay the same. We want the links to stay the same. We want the format to stay the same, etc. So I created it and made it a site canvas and put it on all of those pages so that if I ever edit it or make a change, it does that across every single page for me automatically. And then you can see below it that this title introductory canvas is a page canvas because it is unique to this page and I don't need to replicate it. And you can tell because it doesn't have that globe to the left. For a site canvas to edit it, you can't just like click on the canvas name and have it automatically be editable. You have to come over here and press edit. Or you can come over here and press edit site canvas. Or down here and press edit site canvas, but you get the gist. If I press it, then it kind of shows me the canvas itself and allows me to edit it. This is where I can see each element. This is where I can change stacking order, can change if I want it to be visible on mobile or not. Now, another feature of just clicking on a canvas is you can see we get the same three dots that we got when we clicked on the pages on the other tab. And these are just across all of Showit. The three dots will open up an option menu. And so this just gives you editing control. Here you can see all of these options, which we'll get into a little later. Simple rename, add canvas view, duplicate, copy, cut. You can also toggle here if you want it visible on desktop and visible on mobile. The default is always visible on both, so just keep that in mind. You can choose the mobile layout for this canvas. You can convert it to a site canvas and you can delete it all through here. And same goes for each element as you select it. You can see I still get these three arrows, and these just give you editing control. You can rename, duplicate, delete as well. And so that's really what you need to know about the site canvas. And let's get into now bottom bar in Showit. So we already saw if you've added your share key, you already know that clicking on your account name opens up this account settings window, and this gives you a lot of control over your library, adding shared designs, your account, etc. So that's important. What we also have down here is these three icons help you control the view you're seeing. When I'm creating something, I usually like to start with the desktop version and then from there design the mobile. I find that's the easiest way to do it. So I usually just have it in desktop only, and then I'll go side by side to edit, and then I'll go to mobile to make my final edits. But this just allows you to really focus on one of the screens at a time. Further over to the right, we have this view option, and this basically allows you to choose your editing views. So if I wanted to display my canvas guidelines, which are these dotted lines, you can see separate the canvases for you. If I want to get rid of those, I can just unclick that and they're gone. If I want to get rid of this mobile display, again, unclick that and it's gone. I find I like the mobile overlay just because it shows me what is in the screen at one time, which can be helpful. And then we come to our next section of tools over here. We have 3 magnifying glasses. These are also pretty self-explanatory. We have zoom in, zoom out, reset zoom. So this just goes to the default zoom level for you. These center pieces are not visible unless you are clicked into a page in Canvas and ready to edit it, because these are controls that allow you to add something to a specific canvas. So you need to be clicked into one to tell Showit, to tell the software, this is the section of my website I want to add blank to. So here you can see the first one is text, and this gives you control of what kind of text you want to add. If I wanted to add a title, I just click title. You can drag it around, you can place it, you can edit it. My title. Let's say I wanted it, oh, it's not big enough. Drag it out. If I want to make other changes, we'll get into this, but this is the properties panel, and this will give you a lot of control over what you do. Or what you can do with your elements. Next, we have this square, and this is an element add. So you can add any of these elements into your canvas, and this is really design elements. So if I want to add a shape, I press rectangle, default, it will always be black. If I want to make it a circle, I come over to the properties panel, hit effects, and you can choose the shape. And again, drag. You can drag it anywhere. You can do whatever you want with this and change the color, of course. Icon. So Showit's really great where we have these pre-made icons for us that we can add anywhere to our site. Again, totally customizable. You can come over here. You can change color. You can change the icon in the icon chooser. So the biggest ones that you'll probably use are all of these social media icons, which you have access to, which just makes it easy to make sure you have the right logo. Then you have these little get in touch icons. You have navigational icons, carts, home, which makes it really nice for you to streamline your process, your design process, and have, again, consistent imagery and images that, give your user guides as to what, the icon means. And of course, you can add a lot of click options and link options to these icons. So let's say you choose a social media icon. I can link this to my Pinterest account if they click on it. I don't know if people are going to want to get into adding embedded code, but this is really helpful if you're using any sort of third-party software like MailChimp, Flowdesk, Honeybook, Snap widget, etc. Like there's just so many things that you can be using. And if you have a form, quiz, etc. that you want to add into your website, you can basically get that third party to give you code, and all you have to do is copy and paste it into this embed code box basically, and it will show up in your website. Then we have video. So this is not to add videos that are for aesthetic or background. This is like, I want to link and show a YouTube video here or a Vimeo, which you can add the URL and then that video will appear here. Next, we have gallery. So galleries are really great tools. We'll get into that later, where you want to show a bunch of images in one place, in one canvas. Next, we have, again, our media library. This is a nice quick way to be able to access your media. Let's just say I wanted a different image. I can just click on it, go to my media library. Let's say I want to replace it with this. Just add to page, and there, it's added. Further to the right, we have undo button and redo button. Pretty self-explanatory. Undo my last action, redo my last action. And then finally, in the far right corner, we have our help section. So this will take you to the full inventory of all of Showit's help articles for designing and creating your website. There's so many great resources here, guys. Please, please look at these resources. Showit has done such a great job collecting an inventory of help videos, how-tos, and articles about how to just do basically anything you could ever imagine on their site. I know I provide you with those materials as well, but if something I say isn't as clear as you would like it to be, go check out their stuff. They have so much. And lastly, this is your chat box. And basically, this is where you're going to access personalized help. It comes with your subscription, guys. It's free. They will do so much. Like Showit has honestly outstanding customer service. It's crazy. Last part of the tour is this properties window. Wow, there's so much you can do over here. I'm not even going to have time to get into all of it in this video, but there are more specialized videos that really get into the nitty-gritty of what you can do here. Like a lot of the things on the site panel, the options over here change depending on what you have selected. So if I just have a page selected and I have not touched a canvas on that page, these are the settings that are going to appear. You can edit the page info, the page name, the page background. These are the default settings over here. So this is how you edit your page default settings for animation and transition, hover, SEO settings, your page title. What title do you want for this page to appear when someone searches for this in Google? So this is my about page, but let's just say when someone searches this in Google, I want the page title to show up as About Carrie, About Impact Lab Designs. That's what I would put here. Meta description. This is the 2 to 3 sentences of description for your page that are going to be under your title in Google. You know, when you search something in Google and there's that blue link title and then the small black writing underneath that kind of gives you a picture of what it is about. That is what this is. You want to put so many keywords in here because that's what people search, right? Keywords. So put your keywords in here, but make it make sense, make it flow. Don't just drop a list of keywords. Google will punish you for that. Here you can choose an image for that when people share the link to your site page. What do you want the image to be for that? Like let's just say shared a link to this page on Facebook. Facebook automatically adds an image, but you can have control over what that image is. Advanced settings. You don't even have to touch this if you don't want, but this is again just like the embedded code. If you are copy and pasting a form onto your website, Showit, and that third-party provider will tell you exactly where to add it, where to copy and paste it, and some of that can be in this advanced settings section. Now, let's see how it changes when I select a canvas. Okay, so now I have a canvas selected. Again, you can see that I can change the canvas name here. I can change the stacking order. So this is what section is going to overlay which if there's overlapping elements across canvases. The higher the stacking order, the more in front it will be. So if this had a stacking order of 10 and all my other canvases had a stacking order of 0, this 10 would overlap all of the zeros if I had an element that was overlapping the rest of my site. Here you can change their canvas site. So most of them are probably going to be normal. But if I wanted to change this to window height, what that means is that no matter where someone has this open desktop, laptop, iPad, iPhone, this canvas, this section of my site is going to fill up that whole window. And then you have grow with content, which you're not going to use on your normal site. You're going to use this on something like a blog site so that no matter how long your blog post is, your site canvas won't cut off your post. It's going to grow with depending on how much content is on your site. Here you can change the height of your canvas. You can either change it here, or if we go over back to the left, you see this kind of ruler, you see this diamond. I can change it by doing this. Just dragging and dropping. That's what Showit's known for. Very true to their name. And here, if I had something like a drop down, anything, if I want that drop down to be hidden at first and the user to click a button to be able to see it, I would select this button hidden to start because that means I don't want something seen right away when someone opens my website up. Moving down, we can change our background. So I have this is a color background. I can change the color by selecting, these are my design setting colors. I can also get a custom color here. I can make the background an image, I can make the background a video, or I can make the background transparent, which is what none is. Animation. These are always going to be your page defaults, which we saw you can edit on the page property panel settings. These are your defaults so that when they're scrolling down through your website, how do you want your canvas to load? Do you want it to have a special slide in or effect in? Do you want someone when they're hovering over your canvas, do you want there to be some sort of action, some sort of animation that goes along with that? View transitions. If you have multiple canvas views, which we will get into later, this is where you control how those views will switch between each other. Scroll actions. This basically means that as I am scrolling, once I get to this canvas, something else is going to happen. So if I add in an action, the trigger is once this canvas shows up on the screen, it's going to show another canvas, or it's going to hide another canvas, or it's going to automatically change canvas views, either in this one or in a different canvas. It's pretty cool, guys. There's so much movement you can add. Finally, the last kind of property panel we have available to us is if we select any kind of object, element, text, whatever it is, if we select that, we get different options for editing for each. So we'll quickly go through text. Here you can see that you can change the style to any of your design settings and it will automatically change it. That's my title style. Let's go back to subheading. Let's go back to heading. There we go. If I want to go back, oh, I don't like that. I want to go back to my original. We get to do that. I can change the color of my text. I can change the font, the size, the line height, the letter spacing, the case. If I want to all uppercase, look how amazing that is. Showit just does it for me. I can align it differently, the same that would be on any sort of page or Word document. I can make this text, if I have long text here, I can make it into columns. Look at that. Look at that. Wow, amazing. And then I could also change my link settings. So if I have a link, if I want the link to show up a different color, if I want it to have a hover effect, you name it, all customizable. Text properties. This is really important for your SEO. You want to make sure your text tag matches what that text function actually is on your website. This just helps tell Google exactly what's on your page. So you can see this is a paragraph, P for paragraph. You can see all the different ones. If this was a menu, navigation. If this was just a decorative element like an image, div. So you can see a lot of different ones. If this was my contact form, let's go down to that at the bottom. Right here, my contact form. I'm going to have enable input, and then I get to choose what kind of input that is. And if it's required, if it's not required, etc. Click actions. If I want to have someone go somewhere on my website, if they click this text, link. Other actions, this is how I can control canvas views. This is how I can control hidden canvases. This is how I can control gallery views. Again, we'll get into all that later. Not as overwhelming as it sounds, guys. This is seriously the easiest platform to use. Next, we have transitions. Again, if I'm scrolling through a web page, how do I want this to come onto the page? Do I want this to just be automatically loaded? Do I want it to swoop in from the side? Do I want it to fade in? You can control all that. You have so many options here. If I clicked one, you can control the time it takes for that to come on the screen. If there's a delay, you control the direction it comes onto the screen. Hover. If someone hovers their mouse over this, do I want it to fade? Do I want it to change color? Etc. Control that here, very much like the transition screen we saw up there. Lastly, effects. I mean, this isn't really going to change much in a text, but it's great for obviously shapes and photos. And then you have opacity settings here. And then image and shapes, it's going to be very similar, but more stylized for that specific icon, shape, etc. And finally, let's look at the top of the screen. This is the last little bit of the tour. We're almost done, guys, I promise. Okay, let's start at the far left. This is your site name. If this is not the name you want, go to your site, go to site settings, edit it. Done. Bam. Changed. If your domain is not connected, you can connect it through going to site settings or by just clicking this. Showit knows you need to have a domain to be able to have a website. They're going to make it really easy for you to do this. Preview. Now this is what makes Showit win. This is amazing. Select preview and it is going to show you exactly what your site looks like as if it was live, as if I was a user on this site. And so all the links are going to work. As you scroll down, all your transitions, everything that you have edited and created, you're going to be able to test and view and make sure it's what you want it to be. Make sure it all works. If you want to view this in a live, literally a live window, the other best thing about Showit is it gives you a live link and you can literally send this live link in this URL bar. You could send this to anyone and it would take them to the test version of your website and they could go through it and use it and test it out for you. It's honestly so amazing, just the control you have in the editing process. It can also show me the mobile version here. This is what it looks like on mobile, everyone. Finally, we have the publish button, and I bet you can guess what this is for. Once you have finished editing your template and you have connected your domain and you have made the changes that you want to make and you are ready to go live, all you have to do is publish your site. And this is going to be the URL right here, the domain that your site is going to have. So it will let you view that before you publish it. You are going to press this beautiful blue button and publish your site. It will give you this confirmation and you are now live. Now, the best thing about Showit is that it is so sustainable. If you want to make any changes to your site after it is live, all you have to do is come back to editing this site that you have created, come back into your Showit account, make any edits you want in the same process that you did at first, and press publish again, and those changes will be uploaded right away to your website, right away. It's amazing. It's so sustainable. You will never have to hire a designer again because you can do it yourself. But if you do not have the time or you do not want to do it yourself, you can hire a designer like me to go in and do all of your customization for you. And if you're watching these videos after you have purchased your DIY template and you decide that you need someone else to do it, contact us. We are happy to customize your template or create a custom website for you, but we're happy to customize your template for you. We want to make this the best experience it can be. That was a quick tour around the Showit site and the editing options for your template. Please look at the other videos to see how to do more specific tips and tricks about editing, more of what certain buttons can do and mean, more about canvas views, transitions, galleries, etc. If you want to learn about those, then please watch my other videos.